Autel Evo 2. Big news. Got that coming up next. The other night, Marcus Crawford, Ron Braun, and I hosted Rotor Talk Live. And as part of the show, we discussed the big news regarding the Autel Evo 2. Now, the Autel Evo 2 information was revealed on the FCC Grant ID database. We went over some of the pictures, showed part of the owner's manual, and had a great discussion about some of the features. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and roll that clip in its entirety. Well, I'm going to start with the news of the day. Now, the news of the day is the Autel Evo 2 just wasn't, it didn't make a slight appearance. It made a tremendous appearance today, okay? And I'm going to take a look. We're going to go ahead and look at several things here. First, we're going to look at the FCC Grant ID database. Now, as you guys know, that's one of my go-to, let's go ahead and share here. Okay, that's one of my go-to sources. And here we are. You can see there's a lot of information, but where you really need to focus in on are these exhibits. Now, what's interesting is you see over here with the documents. Now, most of these, when you see this for DJI, for example, when the Mavic Mini was up there, a lot of this you couldn't get to. Now, for instance, guess what? It said user manual. So we'll go ahead and we'll click on this. No, that's my.
I've been poring over that user manual, Bill. That's some good reading.
And here's the user manual right here. All right. Now, one of the things that I want to call your attention to, and we're gonna go over this in detail. Now, I mean, this is the whole thing. I mean, they didn't I guess for copyright purposes, they couldn't put the cover page on here. But I mean, this tells you about the app, the aircraft. Where the USB ports are, where the SD cards are, the sensors on here, flashing. It's
Bill,
all here.
Did you say SD cards?
SD card.
Plural?
I didn't say. I did not say plural, Ron.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just checking.
And here's the real interesting part here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I saw today. I saw this and I was like shaking my head and I couldn't believe it. And there's going to be 3 user changeable gimbal modules for the Evo 2. It's called 586 gimbal, provides an 8K video camera. A 383 gimbal provides a 6K camera with a 1-inch sensor. And a dual sensor gimbal provides an infrared camera and an 8K video camera. I'm going to stop right here, gentlemen. I'd like to get your thoughts on this.
Hey, Bill, so I was reading this with great interest earlier today. And so if I'm reading this correctly, it sounds like the 8K camera does not have a 1-inch sensor and the 6K camera does. So very possibly the 6K camera may be the best camera of the 3. And I noticed in the dual sensor, they have the 8K with the infrared, which tells me it's a smaller camera. What do you think?
Yeah, I would have a tendency to agree. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk to both of you guys and get your opinions on, okay, what computer can go ahead and process 8K or 6K video?
I just ordered one of those thread rippers.
Yeah, Bill, what I can tell you is my computer won't. So if I go ahead and complete the pre-order of this, I will need to start a GoFundMe so I can get the computer that'll edit this video.
Yeah, I mean that's where we're at. Now I'm going to go ahead. We'll throw. There's a good article from Kestelou from Drone DJ, and these are the pictures that are embedded in the FCC Grant ID database because they always use the tape measure here. But looking at the front, this one looking from the front, it looks very similar to the Mavic. Okay, the way the sensors are in the front, and I'm assuming that that's probably a stock camera module. What comes with it, probably the 4K 61 inch is just that's just a guess off the top of my head as far as that's concerned. And then you can see down here, as we saw before, all the different sensors, where they're at. And again, I'll have now here's real interesting. I wanted to stop and talk about this with you guys too. Binocular vision sensing systems. Okay. This is real interesting because it's giving you the actual range in which the sensors actually work. And I haven't seen that information. I could be wrong. I'm sure DJI publishes it somewhere. It's probably buried, but I mean, this is right out there. And this is pretty interesting because, the bottom of the aircraft is 20 meters. The front of the aircraft is 20. The tail is 16, left and right, 10 meters on each side. And the top is 10 meters. So, I mean, you're getting real 360 protection on this, guys.
I mean, the key question is, does it work or whatever if you're flying at top speed?
Right.
Yeah, that's the key question
in sport mode. Now, here's the one thing that I wanted to ask you guys about too. Okay. Now, this has been in a number of places. This operating distance of 16 miles. What do you guys think about that?
Well, not only that, the 35-minute flight time and 44-mile-an-hour top speed, all of them are amazing.
Yeah, that's
Bill. Is that 16 miles? Is that within a visual line of sight?
I believe that would be beyond visual line of sight, Ron.
No. What you guys are forgetting is the thing is bright orange. No, you'll be able to see it.
16 miles away. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill, you got the eagle, somebody with eagle eyes or whatever, as we used to say when we were kids.
Over the curvature of the earth.
No.
So right up before you go on, Bill. So right now that 35 minutes flight time that tops the current Mavic 2.
Yes.
The top speed is about the same as the Mavic 2, and of course the operating distance tops the Mavic 2. So this wins 2 out of 3 of these top things and probably ties the speed. What's the Mavic 2? I'm thinking the Mavic 2 does 45. Is that right?
Yeah, I think I've had mine up to almost 45, not quite.
I was going to say, I think the specs say 46, if I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think I've read that somewhere before.
We'll call the speed a tie then with the Mavic.
Yeah, I would say that would be a tie. Let's go ahead. That's a picture of the bottom of the aircraft right here. And there's a picture on the top showing the sensors in the back. I mean, sensor placement looks a lot like the Mavic 2. Seeing the rear sensors right here, the sensors on the bottom of the aircraft. And then I know there's a side picture. I'm not sure if it's here. It's probably, is that it? No, that's not it. But I know there was a side picture showing the side sensors as well. So, one of the things, also to remote controller with OLED screen built in. Now, that's one of the things I think Autel did real well was have that built-in screen with the Evo, and they're continuing it here.
Kind of like a smart controller.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like a smart controller. It's all built in. And this is a huge selling feature for a lot of people, the geofencing.
Hey,
right
so
there.
the one that really caught my eye, though, guys, was that Starpoint positioning system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and smart tracking underneath it now.
And the short charging time, 90-minute charge time.
90-minute charge time. That's good eye, Ron. Yeah, that's, we're seeing a lot here with this. Okay. A lot of things stand out about this, and they're already talking about price. I mean, it's not even out in release date. Now, you won't see this until next year. I can just about guarantee you that right now. For them to have come out with this, seeing the FCC Grant ID database, what is it, 3 days before Black Friday? We're not going to see it this year. Okay. Could
it be at the big show in Las Vegas in January?
Yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't watch all of Ken's video today, but I know he went out. I know he talked to Autel, and he probably has some more info on this. And I would think that he might have already seen it. I don't know. But my guess is I think it will probably premiere at the show in Vegas in January, because that's when that show is. Now that's a huge show. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, and they said as far as shows goes, that's just ginormous. I talked to Billy Kyle about it, and he said he's never been so tired in his life of walking. Okay, because that's all you really do is walk between exhibits. And what's nice is all the drones are generally in one area. He said Unique was in another building, but pretty much everybody else was in one building. As far as that's concerned. want to welcome some other people. Mike Kinney's in the house. DeMarco's here. Welcome. Keith Washington. Welcome. Let's see. Gerald Farms, Terry Starks, PR Matthews. Okay. Geeksvania.
Hey, hold it, Bill. You forgot one big one.
Kolsky
RC is in the house.
RC.
Oh, Kolsky's in the
welcome.
house.
I know this is an effort for you because you're probably right around 2 a.m. in the morning, your time over there, but
Kolsky's burning the midnight oil.
he must be, and we really appreciate your showing up here for this. Okay. Takeoff weight 1,000 grams. Has gesture commands with this.
Boy, all drone users love gestures, right, Bill?
Oh my gosh, yes. How about the Spark? I tell you what.
I had a drone user give me a gesture yesterday.
Oh, we probably don't. We probably can see that off air.
Okay.
So, yeah. But that was one of the things that was really frustrating about the Spark was those gesture commands. Oh my gosh, I'd never. I actually did a blooper video, and it was mostly from trying to get the Spark to do those gesture commands because it was just it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. Both Valerie and I. It was. You go back in my library and take a look at it. We had a blast doing it.
And Bill, I'm a big believer in drones should do what's advertised to do, but I would have bought the Spark regardless of whether it had the gestures or not or whatever.
Oh, I agree, Ron. I liked. I like the portability factor of the Spark. That's the reason. That's the big thing for me. That's what just instantly attracted me to the Spark. And the thing about the Evo, for me, the Evo 2 especially, I think Autel has really done their homework. I think they've learned a lot off the original Evo. And I think everything where they could improve, they have improved. We're seeing the sensors, all the 360 sensors all around. 3 interchangeable camera modules. Okay. That's fantastic. Okay. That's talking like Inspire 2, Inspire 1, Inspire 2 kind of a thing. No other DJI drone has changeable camera modules except when you get to the Inspire and above. Okay. So that's a great thing. And I think, it gives you a lot of options as far as that's concerned. The charging time with this, my thing is with Autel, and I'm hoping that they learned their lesson from when they did the Evo before. Now, if you guys remember, this information that we saw today came out on the original Autel Evo in February of, what was it, 2017, I think.
Or 2018.
2018. Right? Thank you, Ron.
Yeah.
It came out in February 2000, but the drone wasn't released until June that year. Okay. And there was a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth from Evo customers. A lot of people had put down a lot of money with, drone stores and waiting for it to come. And it took forever. Okay. And then it took forever to get, accessories out. I know Original Dobo was saying it took him forever to be able to order spare batteries in cases and things like that. So I'm hoping that they actually learned their lesson here.
Bill, I'm glad you brought that up. Can I ask a question? Are you
Absolutely.
ready for Bill the Drone Review question and answer session? Put you in the hot seat here. Okay, when we're 2008 CES, they announced the Autel Evo. They get everybody excited, right?
Right.
Okay, and they had an 8-month head start on DJI with the Mavic 2 to get this thing out and get people all invested in it, right?
Right.
So you're right. It doesn't really come out until June, and even then, it's hard to get. So even people that really want it really didn't get in their hands until July, right? So they only get a month ahead of the Mavic 2, correct?
Correct.
And then the Mavic 2 comes out, and it trumps it in almost every way except the 60 frames per second. And I may be overstated, but anyhow, they come out, and so they get this product out, and it's barely out, and they get something that pushes it back again. So my question to you is, the Evo 2, can they get it out soon enough that they get a jump on DJI? And is this Evo 2 enough of an advancement that when the Mavic 2 launches, it doesn't put it in second place right out of the chute?
Okay, now I'm hearing, and let's from what I hear, the Mavic 3 it's still going to be in first quarter, but it's going to be delayed. And the reason it's going to be delayed is the Mavic 2 is still selling very well. Okay. Now I know there's some great Black Friday deals on the Mavic 2, and you guys want to check those out. I know Ron has links out on his channel. Marcus does as well. I do as well. Definitely check those out. And guys, if you know what an affiliate link is, it helps us. It helps the channel. So go to Ron's channel, go to Marcus's channel, go to mine. Whichever one you want. We don't care. It helps us all out. That's number one. So it's going to kind of push the Mavic 3 back a little bit from what I'm hearing. It's going to be later in the first quarter. And if Autel is smart here, they're going to go ahead and get it out there as soon as they can. I would say in January would be absolutely ideal. Now, it's not ideal as far as North American weather is concerned because, up north it's going to be cold and not really amicable to flying. But, further south it will, and there'll be enough people to get these drones out. One of the other things that I wanted to bring up too, and I think this is an important point, I think their timing could not be better because they're riding also on the goodwill of an American drone company, Skydio, because, Autel really basically, even though they're made and assembled over in China, their headquarters is up near Seattle. So they're really technically an American drone company. So, riding on the coattails of Skydio, I think this is kind of a good thing for them, okay? Because it's going to help pick up some momentum. I mean, everything lit up like a Christmas tree when I saw this today, okay? And a lot of things, it's like all the puzzle pieces fell into place here, okay? With, the Skydio coming out and all the great goodwill that's been generated by that, and with talk of the Mavic 3 coming next year, what better time for Autel to introduce a new series of a new Evo, the Evo 2, with some absolutely killer specs.
So here's the problem with the whole thing is I had to visit my banker this afternoon and take out a second mortgage so I can afford all these new drones coming out. But here's what my concern is about the Evo is, okay, are they going to be just like what Ron described? Are they going to be playing second fiddle again? I mean, I understand their cameras are going to be, they're going to have 8K and 6K, whether we want it or not. But then right on their heels, whenever they bring it out, DJI is going to be back out with the Mavic 3, which, it's just like everything else that DJI builds. They're going to put features in there that we don't even know we want yet, and that'll blow our mind. So what does this drone have, this Evo 2 have that the current Mavic 2 Pro does not, other than camera, right? 360 obstacle avoidance, all that stuff. It's already on the Mavic 2. I don't, the range is better and the flight time is marginally better. But beyond that, I'm just wondering, okay, what is the big home run that it's bringing to the table that is going to get people to buy it?
Well, I want to touch on that, Marcus. I think one of the other things, I think the stock camera, I think it's going to do 4K. I think you're going to have 60 frames per second, and I think it's going to have a 1-inch sensor with the camera that comes on the unit itself. So that is something that I would say top the Mavic 2 as we speak here. And the other thing is the option to be able to interchange these cameras. Now, one of the things that DJI promised, and I was at the event and I heard this with my own ears, and I've talked to Billy about it, I've talked to Ken about it, and I've asked them, I said, you guys heard them say, for a fee, we'll swap out, if you want to zoom, if you have a zoom and you want the pro camera, if you have a pro and you want the zoom camera, we'll do that for a fee. They said that there. DJI's never said a word about that. Okay. Not one word. Okay. And that's one of the things here that I think I really like this option here for the Evo, especially let's say they price it. And I'm just throwing a number out here, guys. This is just off the top of my head. Let's say for the base model, okay, it's $11.99. All right. And that includes a 4K 60 camera. All right. And these camera options, my guess is we're looking probably $500+ for these camera options. That's what I'm saying, especially with like thermal imaging, that kind of stuff. All right. Let's say, these are going to be, these could target, especially with thermal imaging, if it's good, you know, that could go to like search and rescue and first responders kind of a thing. All right. And with the sharpness of this 8K camera, I mean, maybe it's geared for agricultural. I don't know, because I don't know anything about 8K. Okay. I've heard about 6K. I haven't seen anything about 8K. So, you know, the sky's kind of wide open. And I think they're going a little bit ahead of the curve as far as that's concerned. You know, as far as these cameras. So I think they've got a winning package here. I'm very excited. I'm more excited about this than the original Autel Evo.
So, Bill, should I go ahead and cancel my order on my? Help me out here.
On your Skydio 2.
My Skydio 2 and save the money for the Autel Evo 2.
Do both.
That's a Cardano answer.
You could sell that. You could sell your spot for the Skydio 2 easy enough. I guarantee you.
Especially if I have the email in hand.
Yeah.
Speaking of emails, did anybody get a nice email today?
Let me check.
Were they sent out this day? Yeah, that's good.
We're going to segue here in just a second to this, Ron. I want to wrap up.
I jumped the gun.
No. That's okay. You know, Lon kind of echoed a lot of what Marcus said. The original Evo was slightly better than the Mavic Pro. Now they're going to make the Evo 2 slightly better than the 2-year-old Mavic 2 Pro. It's crazy. Yeah, Lon, you know, I do agree with that, but I think the thing here with this, there's a couple of things here. You know, riding on the coattails of Skydio, I think this is going to be great for Autel. And Autel's in a better position to mass produce these drones. Remember, these are made over in China. They're not made here in the United States. They're made on an assembly line. So they'll be able to crank these out a lot faster than the Skydio will. And the other thing is this interchangeable camera module, something that, you know, has been talked about for a long time on more consumer-oriented drones. And this is the first time we're seeing that.
Question of the day. When do you think the Autel Evo 2 will be released? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like the content from today's video, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and tell others about the channel. Also be sure to check out my Facebook page, where I do post daily updates regarding the drone and drone industry and anything DJI, Autel, or Parrot related. Also be sure to check out my Twitter account, where I do post daily updates, and Instagram as well. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.